I knew something was off the moment we sat down for dinner at our friend's apartment. The laughter, the wine glasses clinking, the easy banter across the table. It all felt distant, like I was watching it from behind a pane of glass. I'm Nathan, 38. Married to Claire for 12 years. 12 years of shared routines, bills, inside jokes. Or so I thought. But that night, sitting across from her, I realized how wrong I'd been. Sarah and Liam were hosting, candles flickering, music humming softly through the room. I tried to settle into the night, cracking small jokes, asking about work, complimenting the food Claire picked up earlier. But she barely glanced at me. Her responses were clipped, her smile hollow. And then the little things started piling up. The eye roll when I tried to tell a story, the scoff when I complimented her dress, the way her body subtly leaned away when I reached for her hand. At first, I tried to reason with myself. She's tired. She's stressed. Don't overthink it. But my gut wouldn't let it go. Halfway through the main course, it happened. I made a harmless joke about something at work, hoping to lighten the mood. But Claire gave a sharp laugh, one that cut instead of warmed. Then she said, "Nathan, you always try so hard. Can't you just relax for once?" I froze, fork halfway to my mouth. It wasn't teasing. It wasn't playful. It was a public dismissal, me the joke instead of the storyteller. I swallowed the hurt, but the night wasn't done with me yet. She leaned toward her friend Emma, whispering just loud enough for fragments to slip through. "He doesn't even notice. He doesn't get it." Emma gave her that sly, knowing smile and suggested they step outside. They left together, laughing softly, not even glancing back at me. Their absence hit me harder than their words. When they returned, Claire acted like nothing had happened. She even continued with little jabs about my career, my friends, even the wine I'd suggested. Every comment felt like a needle going in clean and deep. By dessert, I was holding myself together with threads. I thought of our early years, the quiet nights in, stolen smiles, easy affection. When did all of that dissolve into this coldness? The final blow was a simple gesture. I reached for her hand. She recoiled. Not enough for anyone else to notice, but enough for me. Enough to say, "Don't touch me." Her eyes met mine for a fraction of a second. No warmth. No recognition. Just distance. I excused myself under the pretense of needing fresh air. But really I just needed space to breathe. The hallway outside felt like a sanctuary compared to the battlefield at the table. And for the first time the truth landed. This wasn't about one night. It was about years of small dismissals. Years of emotional erosion so subtle I'd convinced myself it was normal. When I returned, Claire was laughing with Liam like the past hour hadn't happened. That effortless smile of hers cut cleaner than any argument. Emma glanced at me across the table, her expression unreadable. But something in that look made everything click. It wasn't just Claire. I wasn't only sidelined by my wife, I'd been dismissed by the circle I thought supported us. The dinner ended with polite goodbyes and stiff hugs. Claire and I walked to the car in silence. The drive home was heavier than the meal itself. When we parked, she turned to me with that same half-smile. "Thanks for tonight. Hope you enjoyed it." I nodded because anything more would have cracked me open. I stepped out of the car and let the cool night air wrap around me like a lifeline. That's when Emma appeared behind me on the porch. Quiet, measured. "Hey," she said softly. "Do you want to talk? Or just breathe for a minute?" I didn't answer. I just followed her to the small garden behind the house. Jasmine hung in the air, and for the first time all evening my chest loosened. She didn't grill me. She didn't push. She just let me sit with the stillness I'd forgotten existed. And in that quiet something shifted. Not relief. Not happiness. Clarity. The clarity of finally recognizing my own worth. And the pieces of myself I'd been sacrificing to keep a dying piece alive. We talked eventually, but not about Claire. Not directly. Emma shared stories, patterns she'd seen in others. Patterns I had ignored in my own life. For the first time that night I felt seen. Not as Claire's husband. As Nathan. A man who deserved respect, space, tenderness. When I went inside later, Claire was on the couch scrolling her phone. Nothing had changed on the outside, but everything inside me had. I wasn't angry anymore. Just aware. Aware that my responsibility was not to force connection with someone unwilling to offer it. My responsibility was to myself. Later that night, alone on the couch, I finally admitted what I'd been dodging for years. This wasn't one incident. It was a long line of small betrayals. And while I couldn't change Claire, I could change me. By the time I went to bed, the heaviness had faded into something steadier. Resolve. A quiet promise to myself. No more shrinking. No more begging for scraps of affection. No more tolerating disrespect disguised as moods. That night I finally heard my own voice again. Clear, steady, and strong. Sometimes the most powerful step isn't walking away. It's finally standing up.